Hi, and welcome to the end of Domain 4. Yay! Getting through them. Bit tired, but making some headway. Um, this domain was about focusing on classroom ecologies, and I really enjoyed Domain 3, and I've also enjoyed Domain 4 because for me it's been a little bit like the onion, um, layers upon layers upon layers, or perhaps a better analogy is the teacher inquiry model of the spirals, where you're ever traversing spirals that are zooming in or zooming out. And I'm thinking a lot about Wendy's comments at our block course about zooming out and seeing things first at the micro level of the student and then zooming out to the level of the classroom and next the level of the school. And I'm anticipating in Domain 5 I'm going to find again the same sense of reinforcing, I guess, the same core principles that we're doing. One of the things for teacher and classroom ecology that has really resonated for me is probably this book, which I started unpacking recently, looking at that, and I found just so much in there. It just blew me away when I looked at it, and I thought, wow, there's so much stuff there, and looking at teaching kids social behaviours for group work, which is on page 36, and I went through that and I found things there that were about explicitly model and teach social behaviours, develop with your students clear expectations, provide sentence starters, involve kids in teaching them how to take turns to talk, use a friendly voice, show that they're listening and asking questions. And I thought, this is the stuff I've just been working on both in circle time, in so domain competency 2, I looked at circle time. That was all about that. Competency 3, I looked at restorative practice, and again the circles approach was reiterated in restorative practice and circle time. I also looked at the page 38 of this book, and again I found lots of things there. Using circle time, it talked about different ways of using circle time with the jigsaw, the donut, buzz groups, to stay, to stray, and then a whole lot of stuff there about different types of circles: question circle, wandering circle, fact sharing circle, cooperative circle. And I found it quite exciting because I kept thinking classroom ecology, all of the stuff that's getting kids working together, just that consistency of the approach, the relational aspects that keep coming through time and time and time again. And being someone that's keen on incredible years, being someone that's been a school coach on PB4L, and now I'm a liaison resource person for PB4L for both my liaison schools. The umbrella that PB4L provides schools with, that framework that's there, just to me is such a powerful thing, because I keep looking at it thinking, here are the PB4L principles in circle time. Oh, restorative practice. Here are the PB4L principles in restorative practice. Oh, incredible years. Classroom systems for implementing the PB4L processes and philosophies. So I've found it really useful, and in incredible years, the PB4L approach is all about reinforcing kids, teaching explicitly behaviours that you want to see, ignoring minor stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff, but focusing on teaching behaviours and not assuming kids know, but actually giving them the skills so that they can relate positively with each other. This is just resonating all the time for me in everything I'm doing, and I guess that probably I have always very much had that holistic approach of looking at the kid in their environment, in their educultural eco-cultural systems, that has always resonated for me, and I'm very excited because I find evidence and proof all the time of why this stuff is applicable. And yes, there's evidence. It's not just a gut feeling, it's evidence. Some of the stuff that I'm thinking about is the quotes that I come across, and it's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that really sums up really what's happening in a classroom. If those kids know that you care about them, then they will often walk over hot coals for you if they know you'll walk over hot coals for them. But it's a two-way thing, and we have to fill their kitty. We have to fill our teachers' kitty. It's often, I think, there's a sense that we're asking teachers to do stuff and wondering why they're not. And I think for some of our teachers, they're feeling really empty. They're tired, they're exhausted, and they actually need a little bit of kitty filling. So I guess the other thing is that PB4L is not a system actually for the kids. It's actually about a system for the adults. It's about teaching adults how to relate to the kids. It's about reminding them what it's like to be that person that's bailed out or bawled out for doing something wrong. We don't want that happening to us. We don't want to walk into the staff room and have a principal growl at us publicly. We go into a classroom, we've got to make sure that we apply those same principles of being respectful to our kids and treating them with the same respect that we expect ourselves. So yeah, everything's relational. That consistency right across the board is what's so important. And getting in early, making sure that we put in the groundwork and looking at the incredible years. That whole bottom layer of the pyramid is all about building relationships, making sure people feel valued and affirmed. And once you've got that in place, then you build onto that. You give them what they need, and you don't need to go to the peak of the pyramid in terms of managing behaviour if you've done the relationship stuff right at the bottom. So that sort of comes through in restorative practice. That's come through putting the essentials in place. Then if they're not working, go up to the next level of a bit more targeted intervention. But again, go back and check that you've got those principles established and firmly in place. Yeah, happy schools, happy climates make a big difference to our kids, and we get buy-in from our kids. And so all of this one-to-one with a relationship with one person is the same as class-wide. We make those same connections to all of our kids, and it's important. And I loved listening to the video of Chris Marshall talking about school's greatest importance is to teach kids how to be happy, functioning members of society, to give them what they need to be able to function successfully. On-site training, we hear time and time again, Colmar Brunt and all these other polls from employers saying, give us people that have got these skills of cooperation, collaboration, responsible, respectful, timely. We'll teach them the job skills that we need them to have. We just need them to have those emotional skills, those coping skills, the resilience. That's what we need from them. We'll give them everything else we need on site. So it's been a very affirming domain again, and I think it's just built another layer on top of the domain 3. And a couple of things that I'm thinking that I'll do differently. I feel like on talking to one of my teachers, I didn't get maybe the buy-in I thought I had from her. And she said afterwards, oh, I didn't want to do it, but I did it because you told me to, but I didn't want to. And I thought, okay, so that's something going forward. I will just try and work to make sure that I'm affording to the teachers the same care and nurturing that I want to afford to the kids, because I think if teachers are running on empty, they're not in a position to look after our kids and top them up. So, yep, penultimate domain done. One domain to go in terms of portfolio and then the curation to follow. So looking forward to that, looking forward to seeing whether the spirals continue to replicate and deepen, and yeah, so thanks very much. I'll see you on the next domain.